Okay, so let's start off with a recap of EOH. And we all know the history, how price plummeted from around 180 all the way to what I deem as the bottom at 213. And this bottom was on the 18th of March 2020. So this was just at the beginning of the coronavirus and just pre-lockdown. What I like about this price advance of EOH from this 213 low to the recent peak at 917 is that the price has traced 5 waves. As we can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is very positive from an Elliott wave perspective, but as we know, the market doesn't just move in a straight line or just 5 waves up and just continues going up. After 5 waves, the market has to pull back in 3 waves. So if we just look at it closer now, we can see that the market already is starting to pull back, and using Fibonacci relationships, I'm forecasting that the wave 2, which is represented by this ABC, which is the 3-wave pullback, can possibly terminate between 592 and 5 Rand. And this represents the common ratio between wave 1 and wave 2, which is the 50% to 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. So I wouldn't advise shorting EOH, but rather wait until the market makes a deeper pullback to around these levels here, and also keep a lookout for trading statements or any other SENS releases which could provide some stimuli to this stock. I still hold the view that above 213 we are in a new bull market, but like I said, the market won't move in a straight line. So right now, unless you already have long positions in EOH, stay on the sidelines and wait for a stimulus in the form of any market update or trading statement, etc. Now we can look at our trade for the week, and my trade for this week is Tsogo Sun Gaming. Without going too far back into the history, we can see here we had a massive sell-off in March of 2020, and this stock only bottomed on the 22nd of May. But the interesting thing about this bottom was it bottomed on the same day that there was a trading statement for the financial year end of 2020, which is on the 31st of March. It was a bit of a mixed set of numbers, but we can see the headline earnings per share were forecasted to be down between 20 to 24%. And that was impacted by the last 2 weeks of that financial year due to the hard lockdown. But interestingly enough, not soon or not too late after that, we see the market rallied aggressively from this 171 low to peak at 720. And I tried to do some research, but I couldn't find any articles which related this particular rally to any bit of new news or any market updates or anything. So it just shows again that markets are not driven purely by fundamentals. It could have been speculators or other traders. But what I do like about this rally is it did occur on high volume. And if we can just put the volume here. We can see that there was a bit of a massive increase in volume. So this does show that money is flowing into the share. So looking at this from an Elliott wave or technical perspective, I'd never be certain, but I believe that this 171 does represent a market low. And what I see now is a sequence of ones and twos, which is a very positive signal from an Elliott wave perspective. So before we look at the wave count, what I want to show here now is the moving averages. And what I have here, and remember this is a daily chart, and what I have here is the 50-day moving average together with the 200-day moving average. And what we have right here is what we call the golden cross. And this is where the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. And this is taken as a bullish sign by long-term investors. So this is really a long-term signal, but within the perspective of where the stock is, it is a bullish signal. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at this current wave count. This is the current wave count that is of interest to me. This label here in dark orange, and just to show it clearly. So this is the wave count that I'm looking at now, which is of most interest to us in the short to medium term. I have this labeled as 1, 2, and this then says we are now progressing with wave 3, and using the Fibonacci expansion projection for wave 3, I'm forecasting it to be or to terminate between 987 and 882, and this will give us the common Fibonacci relationship between wave 1 and wave 3 of 1.618 to 2. So again, another bullish indication is we have this sequence of higher lows. We keep making higher lows and also making higher highs. So we can say that we do have a trend that is developing in Tsogo Sun, and the fact that we're still in a recessionary type economy, it bodes well for the stock that is already recovering while it's still finding its feet post the COVID hard lockdown. So this is a stock that I believe will continue to make new highs, and I believe that the stock is now in a new bull market. But we do know there are some fundamental challenges with Tsogo Sun, especially where the debt is concerned, but they seem to be addressing that and using or keeping some surplus cash reserves. I know they've minimized capital expenditure, and any new projects they've been put on hold besides the acquisition of Betway of 51% interest in Betway. So even from a fundamental perspective, they look pretty solid and technically looks very good. So my trade for the week is Tsogo Sun Gaming. Thank you.